Golden Locks flow.
It's
All right, we welcome you into a Bandwagon Tuesday edition of the Morning Rush. Appreciate everyone jumping in with us this morning. I know we have a lot to talk about sports-wise. You know who the Fayetteville regional teams are that you're matching up with this weekend, starting with Southeastern Missouri State. Daniel Gafford and the Dallas Mavericks, one game away from the NBA Finals, which I know people are excited about. Got another commit over the weekend. DJ Wagner finally selects the Arkansas basketball program, and John Calipari didn't know how long it was gonna be before that happened. It finally happened, but unfortunately, as we get back here on a Tuesday morning, we do have to start with some troubling news in northwest and north central Arkansas. Several tornadoes affected areas across this state. Nearly 70,000 people without power. 8 confirmed deaths amongst the storms. Clay Henry, I've had several other people that have sent me pictures of northwest and north central Arkansas. It was an EF3 tornado. I'm not as knowledgeable on some of that stuff, that the degree and whatnot, but I did see a lot of the pictures and the aftermath.
It's a scale of 1 to 5, so I mean, you don't want to mess with a 4 or 5, and three's bad enough. But yeah, Clay was spared a lot of bad damage. He's got some limbs and some stuff down and some trees leaning, but Clay's home is fine. His daughter's home, which is just up the road from him, I think the house is okay from what he was telling me, but their cars, his son-in-law's guide boat, all crushed by trees. They're just kind of encapsulating or surrounding the home. There was 95% of Baxter County without power. I mean, this was that storm that moved through. And I mean, my brother narrowly avoided it in Rogers, went a little bit north of him. I talked to, we all have friends or family that they're in the county and in Benton County. And, and at the same time, Fayetteville didn't even get rain. And all of this is going on. It's just a weird storm. Then that moves on through, like you said. And so bad stuff in Benton County moves on through. Problems in Boone, and then also over in Baxter County, where it seems to be, as far as trees and damage and stuff, just some homes leveled in Briarcliff and that area between Norfolk, Salesville, where my place is at, and Mountain Home. So talked to our friend Scott Tabor, who lives right near that area, and he's got big trees down, and his neighborhood is affected. So we all probably know somebody that lives in that area or have family in that area. So for all you listening on 99.5 in Benton County and 104.3, we're thinking about you this morning, because I know there's a lot of people busy, just trying to literally cut their way out of their driveway, or have been over the weekend, cut their way out of the road.
I don't watch the news as much as some, but is it an over excessive amount of what we've had the last 2 or 3 years, whether it's Little Rock, Northwest Arkansas, and this? I just don't remember Arkansas being affected by tornadoes as much as I was growing up as I have in recent years. And again, didn't pay attention to it as much as a kid. A little more now because it affects our listening areas. And I
think we report more news now than we ever did before, and it's in our face now because of these stupid phones we have in our hand all the time. But I don't know. I mean, someone that could historically tell you, but I think it comes in cycles. I mean, I think when you'll see from time that there's I forget the year,
1999, there was like a huge outbreak.
60 something. There was a bad one in Greenwood, south of Fort Smith, that leveled the town, like in,
they didn't even know it was
60
coming.
I mean, that's the thing. Now we have reporting, at least know it's on the way. We have warning now, but four folks in Bologna got hit 2 or 3 times. So I don't know. I mean, they call it Tornado Alley for a reason, and it's just the mixture of the weather and the heat, and we're just getting started on storm season. That's the ugly side of this. But anyway, back to this weekend. Just hopefully people starting to get power on. I know a lot of people listening in Baxter County still without power. We're really across that north central part. But talking with Clay, he was staying somewhere else because his home was without power, and we finally got power back to. And he'd already went on, and we got power back at our place last night someone called, and so it a lot of people been running chainsaws and rakes and hand tools and things just try to get their home and property cleaned back up.
Yeah, that's what Clay said he was doing over the weekend. He said he was quite sore from just having to do all that. And that's because you can only rely. I mean, there's so much when there's the amount of damage that there was across, again, several counties. You can only rely on state people to help out so much. There's certain stuff you just kind of unfortunately have to do yourself. So hopefully, again, it gets cleared as quick as possible. I know this is not an overnight fix, as evidenced by people still without power this morning, but hopefully people still come back, or people get that as soon as humanly possible, because you don't realize how much you need power until as we were talking about before the show, your refrigerator goes out in the food. There's just simple things you don't even think about that require electricity that like when you lose it, it's just like, oh, I need this, and it just completely changes what you have to do on a daily basis.
Yep. And, just living without air conditioning is bad enough. Being without your internet, being without
right now.
So, I mean, well, at least it's not hot yet, but it's getting warm. So, I mean, it's uncomfortable sleeping. So we're going to try and find some ways that, we can build awareness and help, help with donations and whatever needs to be done in both parts of our state that seem to be affected the most. We're here for you. So if you've got an organization or something going on that, hey, we're trying to get donations brought to a place, let us know. Call Christian. He's Big C's answer the phones, 877-377-6963 on the McLarty Daniel hotline. And, we will pass the word along. We may have Clay a little bit later in the show, just kind of give a firsthand account here or there. So that, we'll talk to him maybe a little bit later on. So.
All right, well, let's talk some baseball. You've got Arkansas hosting Louisiana Tech, Kansas State, and Southeastern Missouri State this weekend. Arkansas ends up the 5 seed. I think a lot of people, you saw a lot of projections that had the Razorbacks as a 5 seed, and that's what they were given on Sunday, and then the teams on Monday. I like this. It's a favorable draw for Arkansas. It's one of the easier regionals based on percentages and certain matchups, and you're paired up with the Virginia region, the Charlottesville regional, which, of course, the Cavaliers are there. You got Mississippi State, St. John's, and I forget the other team that honestly is inconsequential at this point because they're probably not going to come out of it. But I think Arkansas, I mean, we always talk about the road to Omaha, right? I think you got a favorable draw on the possibility of ending up in Omaha, Nebraska for the College World Series. A lot can happen between now and then. You get the 2 o'clock start this Friday. Don't know who the pitcher's going to be, but that's your setup these next few days.
Yeah, and Pennsylvania's the other team you're looking for in that regional. Mississippi State, we'll see if they climb out of it. Hey, first thing is you got to climb out of yours, and we'll talk more about that and what the pitching matchup may look like. When does Hagen Smith get a start? We'll dive into all of that. Hey, if you're coming up for the regional and you're looking for a place to stay, our friends at the Inn at the Mill can take care of you. They'll get you a great room with a great central location in Northwest Arkansas, exit 69 off the Johnson exit. Be sure and get by and see them when you need a room. 443-1800 is their number. Online at innatthemill.com. It's Arkansas's favorite place to stay. It's the Inn at the Mill. 443-1800 or innatthemill.com.
ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app is live at the 2024 Fayetteville Regional. Exclusive coverage is presented by Mock Legal Solutions. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price. Arvest Bank. Arvest is ready to help. Equal housing lender member FDIC. And by Camping World. Camping World in Poto and Van Buren and online at campingworld.com. The road to Omaha starts now.
Call them the Omahawks. Yes, sir.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
House here in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Get 1.9% financing for well-qualified buyers on a GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra 1500 has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Get 1.9% financing and $3,250 in purchase allowance when you trade an eligible vehicle. See the new GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Is someone special to you missing out on life because of foot pain? Let's face it, if your feet hurt, you don't want to go anywhere. Give the gift of freedom. Check out our store for all kinds of options to benefit your special someone. We have perfect gifts for those suffering from a variety of foot issues, such as plantar fasciitis, bunions, tendonitis, diabetes care, neuropathy, or just tired and achy feet. Visit us today at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Superior Siding and Windows have been improving homes in Fort Smith and the River Valley for over 44 years. Whether your need is siding, vinyl windows, doors, gutters, or metal roofing, Superior Siding is the one to call if you want it done right the first time. Call 479-646-7888 for a free estimate. 100% financing is available, and Superior Siding has AAA rating with Better Business Bureau. Superior Siding, your first call, 479-646-7888.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I asked about you, Ty, and I'm doing this anyway. I'm serious. Play. I'm teasing.
Here's the pitch. Sprague-Lott reaches for a slider, base hit, right field line. McLaughlin rounding third with a tying run. Jackson cuts it off. It'll be an RBI single by Jared Sprague-Lott.
Subscribe to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
Coming up next segment, we're going to have new Farmington head football coach Tommy Tye, also former coach of Harrison and Huntsville. Long time, 42 seasons as a high school football coach. And an athletics director in some capacity. So excited to welcome him into the program. I know he's going to have some thoughts. He has friends, family across both our ESPN 104.3 and ESPN 99.5 listening areas. So we'll get some thoughts on not just football, but what happened over the weekend from him as well.
All right, if you hadn't got the Bet Saracen app downloaded to your phone, now is the time to do it, especially for all you college baseball fans. They'll have all the odds and the live betting as well for not just the Fayetteville Regional, but the other 15 regionals around the country. We're almost set. We know the Celtics are in the NBA Finals. We're awaiting Dallas to win one more to put their name on that officially, and we'll have NBA Finals action for you there as well. I guess what is it? Game 4 coming up. That's tonight, right?
Tonight, TNT.
Tonight. And,
correct.
You can get the odds and the wagering on that as well, plus the live betting for that game too. It's all at Bet Saracen. If you haven't downloaded that yet, do it in the Apple App Store, wherever you get your apps. Go to BetSaracen.com for great videos on how to have more fun and watch those videos to help you use that app and have more fun out of it. That's Arkansas's favorite sports betting app, Bet Saracen.
And we'll share some more about Daniel Gafford coming up. He gave several shout-outs to El Dorado on the post-game broadcast, which I know the people down in South Arkansas love to hear. But for now, you mentioned, again, the regional. Dave Van Horn listened about 25 minutes yesterday. Here was his initial thoughts on the regional.
Yeah, super excited to be hosting another regional. It's not easy. Just like I told the team, there's 250, 60 teams that aren't playing anymore, and it's hard to get in. There's a lot of really good teams that were on the bubble this year, and it's a long grind the whole season, and for the most part, we've maneuvered it pretty well. But we're really excited for postseason, and we're even more happy that we get to stay here and play in front of our fans who have been incredible for us this year.
I think the thing is 5 of the last 6 years you've been in national seed, and 6 of the last 7 you've hosted. So Arkansas has been outstanding in that regard. And they continue on this weekend. Again, don't know just yet who's going to pitch on Friday, Saturday. We'll find out later in the week. Dave Van Horn kind of kept that close to the vest like we thought he would. But don't know.
We do
just
know
yet.
you're going to play early on Friday,
Mhm.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
Which some people, if you don't follow it or pay attention real close, you'd assume you'd play the night game because you would say, well, you'll have the bigger crowd. But I don't think it matters if you play at 2 or 7. It's going to be a full house for Arkansas and Southeast Missouri. So early game, I like that setup from a team standpoint. It's not great for the fans, but fans are still going to show up. But it gives you, 3 or 4 hours additional rest that otherwise you wouldn't get. The drawback is if it's warm, you exert a little bit more out in the sun field that way. But hey, it's baseball, and I think that extra rest is better for you for a long weekend. 2-0, that's the thing. You got to be 2-0 in these regionals to have your best chance to win them.
I know Geno Ben is excited for Arkansas baseball this weekend. He joins us via the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Geno Ben, what are your thoughts on what happened with the regional setup for this weekend?
Well, now who's that? I'm sorry, forgive me. Who's that first team we play? What's your name?
Southeastern Missouri State, SEMO.
Okay. If I remember correctly, them and Louisiana Tech, that's the other mid-major we play, correct?
Yes, the Bulldogs
Okay.
and Ruston.
Okay. I don't, if I remember correctly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, won't hurt my feelings at all, but haven't both of those teams been known to upset big-name teams in this tournament?
I know
Or in tournaments like this?
I know Tech has had a win or two that came out of the woodwork. I don't know as much for SEMO, but I think Tech has had a solid mid-major baseball program, kind of like you referred to.
Okay, I just thought I'd heard SEMO had some, but anyway, I look at all 3 teams, and Kansas State I don't know anything about. Just hadn't come up with enough in the past and all like that. But I'm just looking at it that every single game we play is like we're playing the top 3 teams in college baseball. I'm not looking for any of them to be easy wins or whatever, but I guess I'm just being honest with you. I'm flipping I'm on both sides. I believe that we are going to win it all down at City Hall and bring back the trophy, and I'm excited about it. But I do see where if we don't bring out our stuff and, get better in areas that we have to get better in, like our hitting and, not leaving 14 men on base and all like that, we might be out early. And I just, I think that the other teams are that good out there, and the ones that you can't even know that don't know, had never heard their name, well, it's liable to upset you because they've upset us and upset other teams, So I think we're going to win it, but I don't care if every game is ugly as long as we bring home that beautiful trophy of the national champs, and catch the last pitch, the foul ball, and all like that. I'm happy, So anyway, I'm just looking forward to it, and I think we're really going to do good, and hopefully we got to give it our best, So anyway, thanks for letting me share what's on my heart there.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Yep, and some have believed that this time is due if Dave Van Horn keeps knocking on the door. But again, I go back to key to a regional is you got to win your first 2 ball games and put yourself in a position that someone else has to beat you twice. Stay out of that elimination side. I know that's simple and it's pretty obvious, but you look at who wins the vast majority of these regionals. It's about finding the right path to being 2-0 from your start on Friday. When Friday, when Saturday, you'd love to go 3-0 and be done. But that's the key. Someone else is going to have to beat you twice. That's the name of the game when it comes to these 4-team regionals.
And you mentioned again the early start for Arkansas. Dave Van Horn has typically, as Chuck said last week, gone with that. Here's what Dave had to say about kind of why he likes the early start.
Really experience with both, having to deal with the weather. If you're the second game and the first game gets played, the second game gets delayed or rained out, then having to play super early in the morning and for sure going to play 2 the next day somehow, some way, if possible. Just talking to other coaches in the past about the way they do it. It used to be they would tell me, they made us play at night until there was an issue with the weather, and then they figured out it might be better to play early. Yeah, it cuts into our crowd, or it makes it harder for the fans to get here for a 1 o'clock game or 2, whatever you're scheduled that day, because that's usually what they are. And we understand that. But as far as for the team, just getting up, going through routine and playing. And if there is weather, you have more time to fight it throughout the day.
Right now, a 65% chance of rain and about an inch predicted for Friday in the Fayetteville forecast. That will be something to watch as the week moves on. Hey, brought to you by APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. They have immediate openings right now in Baxter County, Benton County, Washington County, also Boone County as well. So if you are looking, and Marion County should add that to the list, if you're looking for a new job, a new work home, they have an opportunity for you with great pay, great benefits, a sign-on bonus, retirement, and profit sharing as well. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
All right, when we return, we're going to talk to new Farmington head football coach Tommy Tye. Stay with us on the Morning Rush.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limburg Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappy.
Nice speck.
We got puppies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even
slow him down. Absolutely amazing watching Hudson White just blitz the baseball now, an 11-game hitting streak. That's his 5th home run out of 6 for the year during this hitting streak.
All your favorite podcasts in one place. The Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
The talk with Coach Tommy Tye coming up momentarily. Again, 42 years in the high school ranks here in Arkansas, Farmington, Huntsville, Harrison, Huntsville, and now Farmington starting up this season. I know he's really excited about it, and we'll get a chance to talk with him coming up in just a sec.
All right, we'll have all our live coverage of the 2024 Fayetteville Regional as Arkansas gets underway this Friday. All of our coverage presented by Mock Legal Solutions. Call Jackie Mock at Mock Legal Solutions, 479-769-1505, or go to mocklegalsolutions.com. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price. By Arvest Bank since 1961, Arvest Bank has been committed to its local communities. Arvest is ready to help. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Camping World, we have America's favorite brands. Get into your perfect RV at Camping World in Poto and Van Buren, and online at campingworld.com.
Do want to mention before we hopefully get a chance to reach Coach, DJ Wagner commits to Arkansas over the weekend. Big get for John Calipari and this Arkansas basketball team. Now 8 scholarship players, 3 former Kentucky guys, 2 transfer, I guess 5 total transfers, but 2 non-Kentucky transfers and then 3 freshmen. He's talked about that 8 or 9 number. We are at 8 right now. Maybe one player, like one other marquee player that they add, and then we'll see what else they add to this roster.
Yeah, and one of the things they're discussing at Destin this week is roster limitations, and football coaches apparently, from what Greg Sankey, are up in arms. I'll be interested to see if we get to a point in basketball where they dial it back and decide, hey, with NIL and with the cost of revenue sharing coming up, do they dial it back to 10 or 11 scholarship players? I'll be interested to see. Or they're talking about limiting rosters to 85 in football, meaning the walk-ons would virtually be eliminated. So interesting stuff going on right now. And I think roster limits we're going to see here are maybe not mandated, but going to be that way.
I haven't gotten a chance to listen. Sankey spoke for about 40-something minutes over the last day or so, and I'm excited to get in and listen to more of that, because Texas and Oklahoma officially join in a month, and like 3 or 4 days from now, July the 1st, that's when they'll be out of the conference. Their people were there. You mentioned one of the issues with roster management. Coaches, of course, are going to push back against that, but there is a lot of items and agendas on the plate that they have to figure out, not just now, but for what it looks like in the upcoming season. And again, it's a 2025 thing, it looks like. So just kind of waiting and seeing what the timeline looks like when they kind of discuss these issues and move forward with these issues, which I know can be not exactly the quickest. You got to, again, take a lot of time to do all that.
Yeah. Hey, we're brought to you by the Fence Man. Anything you need involving a fence or gates, and listen, if you're in Northwest Arkansas and you had parts of your fence destroyed by trees or by straight line winds that came through, the Fence Man is there for fence construction and repairs. 782-3936 is their number. They got quality crews. They use only the best materials, and they make sure that your fence looks great. 479-782-3936. 782-3936, the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
All right, let's talk to Tommy Tye now as he joins us via the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Coach, we appreciate you waking up early with us this morning. We were kind of talking last week about, hey, 6:30 too early. You said you're already brightened up and early and ready to go. I wonder, these last few years since you've been retired, and I'd like to call it more semi-retired because you've kind of kept your pulse on Arkansas football, talked with Sam Pittman and others. What pushed you back into wanting to coach Arkansas high school football again?
Well, several reasons, I think. Biggest, I just missed it. And, the opportunity to be around kids and, do the things that I love to do. And I also determined I don't have any hobbies, so I need to go back to work. But those things and the fact that, Mr. LaFoon and Bo Thompson at Farmington reached out to me, and then I got thinking about it real hard, and just really excited about the opportunity that I've been given, and to get back around the people that I love the most, and that's football players and everybody that surrounds the football program.
Coach, I know a lot of people that you love were affected over the course of this weekend, not just in Harrison, Mountain Home area, but also Northwest Arkansas. What are kind of some of the things that you've heard from people, maybe even yourself in Northwest Arkansas, that's been affected by the tornadoes these last few days?
Well, my daughter is assistant principal at Rogers High School, and we're in contact with her that night, and also my grandson lives up there, and just the tragedy of loss of life and loss of homes and property. The pictures are just unbelievable. And, it's you just can't believe that this has happened, but it's happening more and more, across our country. And it's just awful. But to be personally involved, and of course I haven't met with our kids this week, and I would imagine that some of them probably had relatives up in that area, and it really hits, close to home, and just a really, really bad deal.
Coach, this is Tommy Kraft. It's great to hear your voice, and it's going to be great to see you back on the field. a lot's changed since you left the job the last time and have come back. Offensively, there's been even more evolution. What's going to be your approach? I mean, it's going to be a little different than the old days of when you and Frank Vines used to go at it. So,
well, that was gone. When we were in the last few years that I was coaching, we were in the spread offense, so that part's not been a big transition. But the RPOs and things like that you have to stay up to date. I've been fortunate to be able to stay up to date with that stuff by being around practices and games and things like that, and the work that I do for the Burlsworth Foundation has kept me around the game and the people in it, and kept up to date, watched a lot of football, and so those things. But the constant thing that hasn't changed, that's kids. And kids, they're the main thing. We're all in it, main reason we're in it, and we want to be a part of their lives. We want to make a positive influence in their lives, and hopefully we can win some football games along the way.
You mentioned Bo Thompson calling. He's the AD at Farmington. What was it about that call and this opportunity that piqued your interest?
Well, Farmington's one of those places, and Bo Thompson is also one of those guys. You can believe what Bo tells you. He's an upfront guy. But Farmington's one of those places, Tommy, that when you start out coaching, years ago, you circle certain places like Greenwood and Harrison and Farmington. And so the allure of that, the opportunity to be at a place that, it takes athletics seriously, but also knows what place it occupies in the school system, that got my attention real quick. And the fact that, somebody would want me, really got me excited. So it was good to get that call.
Yeah, this is a program that Mike Adams was in charge of for 20-plus years, and then J.R. Eldridge laid a really good foundation for you to build upon there on top of what Coach Adams had built. So the program's been in really good hands for a while. New facilities in the last 5 years, indoor, got a great turf field and stadium. So, I mean, it and like you said, what Washington County is growing that direction.
Well, it is. Of course, those coaches that you mentioned, Mike Adams, and you can throw Brian Law in there too. And, J.R. Eldridge, the program's on solid ground. It's a good football program. It's a well-respected football program. But they're moving up in classification. And it's going to be, it's going to be tougher. But it's, hey, you set your expectations high. Nobody should set low expectations, and certainly there aren't low expectations at Farmington.
Coach, I was doing a little research on you. I had no idea that at one point in your life that there was a kind of a juncture of sorts that you had thought about being a high school basketball coach too. Just maybe take us back, I guess, 40 years ago, and what was it, the technical fouls that led you away? And
yeah. Well, you can't get away. In a gymnasium, as much as I holler sometimes, you can't get away with it near as good as you can outdoors. But anyway, time was like 50 years ago. It was back in 1971 and 2. I'd gone to Arkansas Tech to play football, but, I realized that my opinion of my ability was not shared by the coaching staff at Arkansas Tech, and they were right. I wasn't near as good as I thought I was. So, I washed out there, came back to the University of Arkansas, and at that time there was a teacher shortage, and Huntsville hired me to teach one PE class and be assistant coach in all sports. And, of course, Coach Charlie Berry was a basketball coach, and we worked a long time together. And then I went on to Ramey Junior High as the head basketball coach, defensive coordinator in football with Gerald Daly. And after 1 year, and we had a great year. We went to the finals of that, River Valley Regional over there. And but it was plain to me that that probably wasn't as well suited for me after that 15th technical foul.
Well, you're a handful enough on the football field. I can't imagine you cooped up in a 14-foot coaching box.
Well, yeah. I was young and dumb, I can tell you. I don't know if the dumb part still sticks, but the young part's gone.
Coach, my one of my old coaches, AJ Killam's actually now the head coach at Ramey Junior High, so that's kind of a cool connection right there. And I think you made the right decision based on the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame, the state championship, and amongst other things that you've done your coaching career when it comes to that side of things. I did. You kind of alluded to the fact that while you were going to school at the U of A, you were teaching and coaching. How did you balance that back in the 70s? I mean, that seems virtually impossible, but somehow you managed to do it.
Well, the thing about it, Ty, those days there weren't prep periods, and I taught 5 science and health classes, and 6-period day. 6th period was athletics, and you just did what whatever was required. That's what you did. And of course, they offered me $6,800, and I thought, gosh, this is awesome. This is awesome. So I didn't care what I had to do to get that $6,800, and and I enjoyed being in the classroom. I never did enjoy being in PE classes. I liked being in the classroom.
Yeah. Let's leave you with this question. You're 11 wins short of hitting 300 wins in our state and becoming one of the winningest coach in football. How enticing was that part to bringing you back?
It really wasn't. Never have really thought about numbers and things like that. You worry about your next win. Whatever number that is, that's the way it is. But the number 300. Mike Malham called me the other day and said, "You just couldn't stand it. You got to go beat. You got to get. You got to get past me." I said, "Malham." I said, I saw the pressure was on you. I said, I don't even care about that. I don't even think I'll even mention, that fact. So anyway, yeah, it's just a number. It's a number that'll be broken sometime. So, but, never thought a whole lot about it.
Coach, last thing, you've had a chance to go to an Army-Navy game. My dad has had that as a bucket list item of his for quite some time. Can you just share what that atmosphere is like as we let you go?
Well, I'll tell you, Ty, it was the most unbelievable thing I've ever been in. I was fortunate to have field passes. I was in the dressing room on the sideline. Hey, there's no NIL there. There's no portal there. Those guys just play because they love to play, and they get after each other. And that crowd, 65,000 people, and those guys after the game singing their alma maters and things like that. And then they come together because they know their number one purpose is defense of our country. And it's just an unbelievable atmosphere. I really couldn't believe I was there, and seeing all this. And certainly, like I say, from the vantage point that I had been in the dressing room after the game when they presented the Commander-in-Chief trophy to the Army team, just something I'll just take with me the rest of my life.
Well, sounds like my dad and myself need to make a trek over there at some point.
You really, really do. You get that opportunity, you really need to go because it is unbelievable.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you joining us this morning. Excited about the Farmington Cardinals this upcoming season, and we appreciate you making some time for us.
Oh, hey, I start my day every day with Tommy Kraft saying first class time every time.
Well, that's what you've been. I'm looking forward to seeing you again on the field, buddy.
I am too, Tommy, and that's people ask me what I missed. I have missed the referees. We
got through 10 minutes of you not telling any fibs, and then here we get all the way to the end. You had to go fib.
No, that's the truth. Somebody asked me, said, "Well, Coach, you ever been kicked out of a game?" I said, "No, I do know when to shut up."
All right, we'll see you soon. Good talking with you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Tom Tice, new head coach at Farmington, coming out of retirement, 289 career wins, and coached the great Brandon Burlsworth at Harrison High School. And fun always talking with him. He's one of the best ever.
That was cool. He's got a lot of experiences in life that I think these kids at Farmington would do well to adhere to and listen to. And excited to, again, he's still got the itch. Some guys lose the itch. Doesn't sound like he's lost that itch. All right, it is 6:45 on a Tuesday. You know what that means.
This is CJ's Trivia Tuesday, presented by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers in Fayetteville and Russellville.
It's delicious.
There must be 50 customers out there. It's unbelievable.
When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
All right, so in 2009, Arkansas said their last or final 2 outs, and a certain player against the Virginia Cavaliers in the College World Series tied it up and sent it to extras. That is our CJ's Trivia Tuesday question. Tommy, I know you know the answer to this. Great call by Chuck Barrett. There's another hint. If you want to jump in and tell us our CJ's Trivia Tuesday question, you can do so at 877-377-6963. Again, it's 877-377-6963. Which former Razorback hit a 2-run shot in the 9th inning against Virginia to help send the game to extras? So I think about Brady Toops in 2004. I think about James McCann in 2011. This player is kind of up there in terms of Razorback baseball lore, I would think.
You know, and you mentioned you mentioned Toops, and hit the anniversary of his Grand Slam is coming up this week, so that's an interesting thing. So.
Yeah, we've got the text a couple times right already on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Again, if you want to win that CJ's Butcher Boy Burger $25 gift card, you have to call in and do so. Again, at 877-377-6963. So that you mentioned that we had a chance to have Brady on a couple months ago, I guess it was. And
been a little bit.
I thought that interview was fantastic. Thought he was great. So it's cool it's always good. We had Nick Schmidt on last week. We've had Brady on before. It's always good to have former players on to get a chance to recount. Maybe we can get this player on at some point to talk about it. Big C, who do we got on the McLarty Daniel Hotline?
Alan and Alma.
Alan and Alma. What is the answer to our CJ's Trivia Tuesday question, my man?
Brett Eibner.
Brett Eibner is correct. Alan, congratulations. You have won that CJ's Butcher Boy Burger $25 gift card. We will send it to you. That's one of the better calls. And I know he didn't have his best season that year. That was kind of a part of
struggles.
Yeah.
It was a surprise. And in fact, I guess you probably have Chuck's call of that on the ready.
It's not clipped yet.
But that was part of what Chuck described. For all of his troubles, at least for the moment, he's extended the season or something to that effect. And if I remember, that ball went out just dead away center, if I remember right. But it was surprising for all the issues that Eibner had at the plate in recent weeks for him to extend the game at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really, really cool back in the day. Again, that kind of goes in Razorback postseason. McCann's home run that I referenced wasn't a postseason game, but it was a big, massive. I think that helped get the series win against LSU back in 2011. There's probably another hit. We mentioned Dave Van Horn talked about the Florida game with Bobby Warnes and Andrew Benintendi that went to about 1:30 in the morning. But yes, definitely Brett Eibner up there on the list. Maybe you'll have a remarkable outcome this week, and maybe something crazy will happen at the Fayetteville Regional as Arkansas again hosts Louisiana Tech, Kansas State, and Southeastern Missouri State. Now, one former Razorback and one member formerly of Lakeside, Ethan Bates. This is an interesting storyline. Coming back to Fayetteville, a place where he started his college baseball career. Coach Van Horn, a lot of positive things to say about the former Ram and Razorback.
Yeah, Ethan, what a great kid. I mean, he's not a kid anymore. He's a full-grown man and came in here and, struggled a little bit, but we could see it in him. He really wanted to play, and he ended up going to Navarro Junior College after his third semester here and did well there. And they started pitching him a little bit. We had talked to him about pitching. That wasn't his first love, honestly. And that's the way it is with a lot of kids. I mean, we tried to get Blake Parker to pitch too, and he didn't want to. He ended up being a big league all-star as a pitcher. So we knew Ethan had a great arm and had power from the left side as a hitter. And when he got to Tech, it's all come out. As an older player and confident, he's been lights out. Maybe definitely one of the best two-way players in the country.
So you got a couple of coaching connections with Southeastern Missouri State. A former player and coach of Dave Van Horn's is the head coach there. And then Ethan is a former player at Louisiana Tech that is now coming back to Fayetteville. So I would guess, and I could be wrong, don't know if I'll get a chance to hear from him this week. This weekend means probably a lot to Ethan Bates coming back home.
Oh, I would imagine so. And, you'll have the opportunity to have family and friends come sit behind your dugout and cheer for you and familiar faces. So And I feel, you always get that dream in your head that, hey, I want to come back and redeem myself. This is the program. It didn't work out for me. And we all want to show somebody that, hey, you missed on me. I mean, that's always a motivating factor for any competitor.
He's got 74 RBIs on the season. He's hitting over 300, and you just heard him talking about the pitching. Guy's leading the country in saves. So Gabe Gackle, as good as he's been for Arkansas this year, 17 is the number for Bates. Yeah. So pretty outstanding in that regard, and he's going to be a handful if Arkansas has to match up with them, not just in that game 2 on Saturday, but if they end up having to close out Louisiana Tech. Now, the schedule is as follows. We've referenced it several times. Arkansas will start out this Friday at 2 o'clock. Now, there's weather kind of in the morning and early lunch. Don't know if it's going to kind of leach into that afternoon. We'll have to see. There's weather also on Wednesday and Thursday predicted. I was curious to, again, the field drains and stuff. We've known that. Then you've got 7 o'clock, Tommy, Louisiana Tech and Kansas State. Both games, of course, are right here across most of these ESPN Arkansas stations. HitThatLine.com or brand new Hit That Line Now app. But they're on ESPN Plus. They're not on normal cable television. And then the loser bracket will start out at 2 o'clock on Saturday, and then the winners will play at 8 o'clock on Saturday for the first 2 days of the setup for this Fayetteville Regional.
You just keep playing until there's a team left that hadn't been beaten twice. That's pretty much how it goes. So winning your first 2 games, by day 2, you'll be down to 3 teams. By Sunday, you'll be down to the 2 teams. And listen, if you can win that game Sunday night, win your first 3, you're on to the Super Regionals, and it's a comforting feeling not having to play that Monday night with the season on the line.
Yeah, it is.
And Arkansas has done it both ways, but that 2-0 start is paramount.
It's just difficult, man. It's very difficult when you start on the loser side. That or the College World Series, which we talked about. The Virginia game that I referenced that Eibner hit that was an elimination game for the Razorbacks. And once you start yourself in a hole during the either College World Series or Fayetteville Region, it's one thing for an 0-1 hole in a super. It's just much more difficult when you get on different sides of the bracket in either a regional or in Omaha.
All right, that was your CJ Butcher Boys Burgers trivia question. We do it every Tuesday. Feels like Monday, but we do it every Tuesday here on the Morning Rush.
Yep, appreciate Keith, appreciate their team in Fayetteville, and Keith and Sally and their team in Rushville, always providing the best burgers, fries, and shakes around. We're going to be up in Northwest Arkansas on Friday. Excited to see our friend Robert and Elizabeth and Matt Man at the Stadium Shop. Probably need to stop by and get some CJ's while we're up there. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. No, we haven't discussed it too much, but the Dallas Mavericks have a 3-zip lead over the Minnesota Timberwolves. A big reason for that is El Dorado's own Daniel Gafford. He talked about his hometown after the broadcast. And we'll tell you what he had to say coming up on the Morning Rush.
As part of America's #1 RV network, we have the largest selection of pre-owned RVs with new RVs for less than $5 a day. Plus, we have everything you need for your next big adventure. We've got an RV for every lifestyle and a payment for every budget. Buy with confidence at Camping World, knowing every RV comes with a 3-year Good Sam's Elite membership and access to our nationwide service network. Come visit the all-new Camping World, now open in Van Buren, Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
This is the Morning Rush.
Get 1.9% financing for well-qualified buyers on a GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra 1500 has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Get 1.9% financing and $3,250 in purchase allowance when you trade an eligible vehicle. See the new GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
I'm Jim Cash III, owner of the Diamond Center. I invite you to come visit us for all your jewelry needs, including celebrations, purchases, repurposing, or jewelry repairs. The Diamond Center offers the largest selection of engagement rings in the area, along with complete custom design for all those special occasions. My family's legacy in jewelry goes back 4 generations. We strive for excellent customer service, integrity in our pricing, and jewelry of the very best quality and craftsmanship. This is all backed by our exclusive free lifetime warranty. Come see us at the Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. Yet the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine. On North 11th Street is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle. Also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle. 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith. 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
The tailgating scene on a perfect fall day in the natural state. Calling the Hogs with 75,000 plus as the Razorbacks run through the A. And all the things you love about football game days are near. Football season tickets are now on sale for marquee matchups against Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, and longtime rival and new SEC foe, Texas.
Slant, caught, touchdown, Arkansas.
Experience game day on the Hill and secure your seat and tailgating space by visiting ArkansasRazorbacks.com or by calling the Hogs at 800-982-HOGS.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. There is a chance of an isolated shower at thunderstorm across the south. High temperatures today, low 80s north, upper 80s south. Still hanging on to a few showers of storms across the south tonight. Otherwise partly to mostly cloudy overnight lows in the low to mid 60s, and then a few more showers for this Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 93 days.
Arkansas Razorbacks. Baum Walker Stadium is going to be rocking. Dave Van Horn closing in on 900 wins. Who are we going to open up against? How about the champs out of the Ohio Valley Conference? Southeast Missouri Redhawks and head coach Andy Sawyers. The Kansas State Wildcats are in, and head coach Pete Hughes. The Louisiana Tech Bulldogs out of Conference USA. Head coach Lane Burroughs. Their 11th NCAA appearance. Louisiana Tech, Kansas State on Friday, along with Arkansas and Southeast Missouri State.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Kristen Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bensenville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
And we welcome you back into hour number 2 of the Morning Rush. You know Arkansas's Regional Road this upcoming weekend in Baum Walker Stadium. You know who could they potentially play next weekend with either Virginia, Mississippi State, maybe St. John's, maybe Penn, another team that could come out of the Charlottesville Regional. That's your road to Omaha. Now it starts this Friday at 2 o'clock against Southeastern Missouri State. We'll talk more about that. Long way to go, long road ahead. Sounds like it's still a long road ahead for people across northwest Arkansas and north central Arkansas. As lots of people still without power, near 70,000. Lots of damage between the tornadoes that affected both parts of our state. And we'll come back to that as we return here on a Bandwagon Tuesday.
Hey, if you need to spruce up your home or you need to figure out your financing options, or maybe you're looking to build your dream home, our friends at Farm Credit can help you get into the right financing option for your situation. The experts at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas can help you choose that financing option that's perfect for you and your family. Go to myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com, and drop by any of Farm Credit's 25 locations today and get started on building more family memories.
68,000 people without power, 8 confirmed deaths, countless damage, whether it's houses, businesses. I've seen plenty of pictures. You've seen plenty of pictures. Clay kind of shared with us firsthand this weekend. I know his own home. I've got a friend's house that was hurt really bad in Rogers. You hate that this happened. The aftermath of this is always fun. It's not something that's going to be a quick fix either in both those areas.
No, and you mentioned the 8 losses of life. You know, that's the real tragic part. The rest of it can be cleaned up, but I know, you know, for Clay, you know, and talking to our friend Scott Tabor, they're both nearby neighbors and not far as the crow flies from one another. And Baxter County had some real devastation there. It happened. You know, there was a storm that came through about 4 that morning. Straight line winds, and then you had another one at about 6 o'clock Saturday morning, and it's kind of a scary round of storms that went through there. But started obviously at the, you know, over in Oklahoma and swept through. For my brother who lives in Rogers, it fortunately went north of him, but there was plenty of damage in Benton County. Talking to a friend of mine in Fayetteville, and they didn't even really get rain. I mean, it just it's weird. And south of the tunnel, you know, in Fort Smith, didn't even know it occurred. So, you know, it's just one of the unfortunate parts about this time of the year. But that same line of storms dropped down a few twisters in rotation, and looks like at least the initial National Weather Service surveys are calling it an EF3 tornado that touched down in a couple places.
So I know you kind of mentioned this in hour 1. We'll mention again. We're trying to find ways that we can help as a radio station and be useful. I say radio station, it's a group of radio stations, because when it affects you, it affects us to a certain degree, not necessarily personally, but we've got friends, we've got family, we've got business owners and various people that we know were affected this weekend. So it's kind of like that. Cal always puts that message out on Twitter. He has the last couple weeks with what happened in Hot Springs and now what happened over the course of this weekend. We will do our best to try and be involved some way, some shape or another with the stuff that happened this weekend.
Yeah, usually these kind of situations, Arkansans are great about coming together to help our fellow Arkansans. So if you've got a donation location where you're taking, things, necessities that people need, bottled water always comes to mind, but it's just the everyday necessities of life and toiletries and clothing and just a variety of things. And, chainsaws, generators, those type of things that people need to get through the next few days. Give us a call. And if we can help spread the word, we're here to use the, the power of our platform to help get that word out, whether it's, in Baxter County, Benton County, or any point in between. We're here to help. So.
As best we can. I mentioned as we closed out hour number one, I wanted to speak to Daniel Gafford and his performance, not just in Game 3, but what he's been lately. I thought it was cool that he was on set on Inside the NBA after the game, but let's just talk about him during the game. He was awesome with a couple big-time plays.
Right up the lane, playing handball.
So we know Daniel's ability defensively, but he also, if you watch, closed out the Game 3 with an awesome assist from Luka Doncic. He finished it against the Timberwolves.
The Gafford screen against Gobert, tailed by McDaniels. Hard, enough power. Dagger.
So it was awesome to see Daniel kind of close out the game and repping Arkansas during the process. And he made sure to mention specifically his hometown, El Dorado, when talking with Charles Barkley, Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, and then also Draymond Green after the game, and Shaquille O'Neal. He made sure again that his hometown got some love.
Especially like my first year and a half. I went through the ups and downs. I wanted to be better than what I was playing, and I felt like I didn't take advantage of a lot of stuff that was given to me. Not the resources when it came to just like the league in general. I was still young, still trying to learn stuff. I'm a country boy from the South, so I really didn't have as much. I'm from a town called El Dorado, Arkansas. It wasn't really nothing too much down there. I'm from a small neighborhood called Hagen Hill. So
shout out to Hagen Hill.
I think as much as I can, man. Thank y'all so
Shout
much.
out to Hagen Hill. You see us, Hagen Hill.
That's El Dorado, Arkansas, man. 870
How close is that to Magnolia?
Thank you, man. 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Yeah.
One of
Like
my
a
best
straight
friends
shot.
from Magnolia.
Oh, really?
A lot of cows and chickens in the yard down there.
That's all it is down there.
I know you're from a small town. When you name the nearest, biggest town near it, I'm next. I live near Magnolia.
So I know we got a number of listeners from El Dorado.
That's cool.
So if y'all know where Hagen Hill is, that's a cool shout out. Tyler texted in on the McLarty Daniel hotline. He's from El Dorado. We've got several BAs in El Dorado. We've got several people down there that listen. So he made sure, again, Daniel is a good ambassador for our state and specifically for Wildcat country. And that's the biggest platform in the NBA that you can be on, and it was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, I remember watching him. El Dorado came up and played Northwest Arkansas, I believe, at Bentonville one time at a showcase game, and then I remember watching Daniel play in state tournament. They played, I think, either his junior or senior season. Played at Lake Hamilton High School, and to see the physical transformation from and you think about, well, that's a long time ago. Well, in the life of a basketball player, yes, but you think about how many years ago was that. And it was less than 10. I mean, it really that he was playing high school basketball at El Dorado High School. So it is kind of interesting to think about all that and to kind of put it all in that perspective. Hey, we're brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The greatest brands like Grand Design, Forest River. And I know some of you out there, I've seen pictures, had damage to RVs over the weekend, probably going to be total losses. When you get ready to replace that RV, keep our friends at Wheels in mind. Maybe you have slight damage with a tree or a limb that's fallen on yours. They have a full-service body shop to help you with that as well. So if you've got storm damage to your RV and you need someone to help you get it right, stop in and see our friends at Wheels RV. And every new RV they sell comes with a lifetime warranty. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
We got our Morning Rush daily question coming up. We also got another question on the McLarty Dana Hotline about DJ Wagner. We'll get to that and Bruce Stan when we return on the Morning Rush.
ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app is live at the 2024 Fayetteville Regional. Exclusive coverage is presented by Mock Legal Solutions. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price. Arvest Bank. Arvest is ready to help. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Camping World. Camping World in Poto and Van Buren, and online at campingworld.com. The road to Omaha starts now.
Call up the Omahas. Yes, sir.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our number one volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the number one soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Tommy Craft for the Fenceman. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fenceman. 479-782-3936. The Fenceman does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fenceman. 479-782-3936. The Fenceman. He ain't afraid of no work. The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Say goodbye! Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get 1.9% financing for 60 months on remaining 2023 Buick Envisions. Or choose up to $3,500 in factory discounts. The Buick Envision, it's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town, or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews, voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith, or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Jute Pond, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Gym Pond today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Gym Pond.
Need new roof? Shamrock Roofing and Construction can have you covered right now for as low as $139.99 with approved credit. For quality and peace of mind, one call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction, call 479-319-5100. Supply issues are no issue at Shamrock Roofing and Construction. As one of America's largest roofing companies, we stocked up early and we stocked up big. We can do your job right now. And because we paid less for our material, we can share those savings with you. Call today or visit us at shamrockroofer.com.
The Old Fort Days is underway, and you can go in style with the all-new official Old Fort Days merchandise. Available now at the main gate at Harper Stadium or at Jelco Outdoors. Caps, t-shirts, hat stickers, drinkware, and more for the family. Support your local Old Fort Days Rodeo. Go in style with new apparel. Old Fort Days official merchandise. Wear the brand. Get your official Old Fort Days merchandise outside Harper Stadium or at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
So I know the #1 question heading into this weekend that you probably have is who's going to pitch? What's that rotation going to look like? Before we answer this question, it's our Morning Rush Daily Question, who starts on Friday. Let's hear what Dave had to say.
Yeah, see who's feeling really good, actually. And obviously look at the team we play and their lineup and how they do against rights or lefts, if you have that option. If we had a set rotation, because it's been a little bit jumbled the last few weeks, it might make it a little easier. So we'll just look at all those things. And, right now we're just kind of diving into scouting reports and try to watch some video and just make a good decision. And our goal is we got to win at least 3 in this thing to win it. So it's going to take all of them.
Now, I had thought they would pitch off Hagen Smith on Friday's game, but I have changed my mind. I think it would best serve them to pitch him on Saturday, but I think when you do see the starting pitcher on Friday, it will be Hagen Smith. I think that.
Why do you feel that way?
I think the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks has not gone according to plan with them losing 7 of 10, and it's not paramount that they had to win the SEC tournament or win a game or anything. But I think they just want to get back on solid footing on Friday. And that's why I think Hagen Smith is ultimately going to get started. I think I agree with you that I would rather see them pitch off, but I think Dave and Matt Hobbs are ultimately going to decide that Hagen needs to start on Friday at 2 o'clock.
I disagree. I think you pitch him on Saturday. I think some of the analysis has got to go into who are the number 2 starters, who are Kansas State or Louisiana Tech likely to start in that game. Who would be their second pitchers, and how does that matchup look? I think that's how deep you need to go deeper than that. But that's what's one of the things you got to answer. So I think you save Hagen Smith. I don't know much yet about Southeast Missouri, but if you're a team that should be Omaha bound and you're a number 5 national seed, you should have somebody on that staff that can get you past the 4 seed in Southeast Missouri. So if you're truly a College World Series caliber team, then you shouldn't have to throw your ace against SEMO.
Yeah, I agree. Again, your logic sounds right to me. I just think they're going to roll with Hagen Smith on Friday. Maybe I'm proven wrong by the end of the week.
Oh, you may be right. I hope you're wrong, but you may be right.
So that is your Morning Rush Daily Question presented by our friends at Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com. We head to Nashville, where our friend Bruce Stanton is right now, following his team's not just regular season title, but postseason title win in the SEC tournament in Hoover. That was quite a finish against LSU, wasn't it, Bruce?
Yeah, LSU had some late game heroics in this tournament. They would not go away easily, so you had runners on base and had to bring in Combs to close it out. Little bit of excitement. Probably not like the LSU South Carolina game the day before. That was a whole different world of excitement. But yeah, it was a twice in 3 years that Vitello's got a regular season and postseason championship. So he's doing some good things in Knoxville.
180,000 attended over the last week in Hoover. That's a record. You mentioned, again, Vitello's impact in the last few years where Tennessee has looked really good. They can hit the absolute you-know-what of the baseball. What did you think about their regional? What did you think about what they got coming to Knoxville?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot like what Arkansas has. You think you've got Northern Kentucky, a game you should win, and then you got a real good Southern Miss team and Indiana. So it's is everyone going to throw their number one pitcher and win that first game? Then, you know, if you're really truly the number one seed, your number two ought to be good enough to beat their number two. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see how all the pitching plays out with all the SEC teams because, you know, you would think their number one guy would take out the number one guy on Friday, but, you know, a lot of strategy is going to go into that, and probably some regionals will be won and lost because of that.
11 teams from the Southeastern Conference sets a new record for an NCAA field from one conference. How many of the 11 do you think can survive and actually get to Omaha? I know there's some matchups in there, but I don't know how extensive you looked at it yet. But is this 4 teams? Could you know, how many do you see making it to Omaha?
Well, I did my Tommy Craft math. I'm thinking ahead. So I got Tennessee going. I got Arkansas going. I got A&M going, and I got LSU going. So I got 4.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get into it. Our Pradco Pyramid of Power.
Who are the best baseball teams in the SEC? Let's find out.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
This is the Pradco Pyramid of Power.
All right, so we know the 5 regional teams from the Southeastern Conference. Tommy just mentioned 11 teams overall making it. That is a new record. 4 of the teams are national seeds. Bruce, we'll start with you and then let Tommy go. Who's number 1?
I mean, it's Tennessee. You won the regular season, won the SEC tournament, ranked number 1, seeded number 1. It makes sense that you're ranked number 1 in the Pradco Pyramid of Power.
Any pushback, Tommy?
Nope, I've got Tennessee 1. Here's how I looked at mine this week, Bruce. Maybe a little bit different. I put them in order 1 through 11 of the teams I think are most likely to survive and at least get to the Super Regional, and I got Tennessee at number 1.
So I'm going number 2. I'm going with Kentucky. They shared the regular season title. Didn't really have a good tournament, but they're seeded number 2 in the NCAA tournament. Tommy predicted they'd be number 1, so you were just 1 off. They got a pretty tough regional, I think. They got Indiana State stuck in there, and I know you had them as a top 8 seed, so that's a danger sign, I think, for Kentucky with the Sycamores in there.
Yeah, I would agree. I do have Kentucky number 2 as well. I've got A&M this week at number 3. I think when it comes to feeling the most confident about teams moving on to next weekend, I got the Aggies at number 3.
Yeah, I'm there with you. And NCAA's having a little fun. They stuck Texas in their regional, so that there should be some fireworks in that one.
I got the Razorbacks at number 4. Arkansas, the 5th overall seed. I got them 4th in the Pradco Pyramid of Power, which speaks to the strength of his conference.
Yeah, I mean, if Arkansas is number 4, you know, there's got to be 3 really good teams ahead of them, and there are. So I'm probably going to throw you a curveball with number 5, Tommy. LSU, hottest team in the country. I went ahead and I had to put LSU above Georgia this time.
I think you're reading from my paper. I got LSU at 5 and Georgia at 6.
That's where I ended up with Georgia. So we agree on the top 6.
I don't think this has ever happened before where we're 1 through 6 in the same order.
I know. So I'm going to go ahead and go 7 through 11. I got Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, Alabama, and Florida.
All right, we're not far off there. I got Mississippi State at 7, South Carolina at 8, Vanderbilt at 9, Bama, and then Florida the bottom 2. So we're pretty
reason I picked Vanderbilt, they've beaten Tennessee twice in the last 2 weeks, and it seems like they're kind of peaking at the right time.
So that's the Pradco Pyramid of Power. Not all these teams will survive and move on to next weekend, and Florida just has not played good baseball as of late. Maybe the time off and the early exit from the conference tournament will get them right, but it would be something if you had 8, 9, 10 of these SEC schools advance to the super regional round. If Mississippi State's one of those teams, they'll come to Fayetteville. They got to go to Virginia, one of the what I would call a blue blood of college baseball.
No doubt, no doubt. The only thing I'm concerned about is they have Wake Forest in the opposite regional of Tennessee, which means if they won that regional, they bring Chase Burns back to Knoxville, and don't really want to see him.
Yeah, and then so looking, you mentioned the East Carolina regional opposite of Tennessee. Oklahoma, we'll mention them because they're a 1 seed and they'll host. They got Oral Roberts, UConn, and Duke. They're opposite of Florida State. Arkansas, as we know, opposite of the Virginia regional. Arizona and North Carolina opposite of each other. UC Santa Barbara and Texas A&M will be the ones matching up there. And you mentioned the Texas Longhorns are down at College Station. Also, the Ragin' Cajuns in Louisiana. Watch out for them. They're in College Station. They may make some noise. That's going to be an interesting first game between Texas and Louisiana, I think. Clemson is a host. Oklahoma State's the opposite. Florida's over at Stillwater. Georgia hosting the NC State regionals opposite of them. South Carolina is in that NC State regional. And then Kentucky's one of those teams like Arkansas that they can avoid the SEC into the second weekend opposite of Oregon State. If Oregon State has to travel to Kentucky, that will be an interesting mix as well. So just kind of surveying the bracket right now. Chance for some SEC versus SEC next weekend, but we got to get through this first weekend this weekend, and what could be an interesting matchup. And what would you do with Hagen Smith? Do you hold him game one and pitch him in the second game, or do you roll him out there in the 1 versus 4 matchup?
Well, it's so hard to make that decision, but here's the bottom line. You have to win that first game, and you know you're going to get their number one starter. So I think you got to throw him, and if you can get 5 or 6 innings out of him, then he can be available on Sunday if you need him. So if you wait till Saturday, you probably won't be able to use him again. That would probably be the only thinking there.
Yeah, my only thinking is that, hey, if you're truly the number 5 national seed, then you should have another arm on your staff. If you're going to make it very far, someone better be able to take care of Southeast Missouri.
I would think if they pitch off Hagen that Mason Molina would get that said start. I don't know that to be 100% accurate, but based on his last 2 performances, albeit out of the bullpen, I realize that there haven't been starts. I think that he's given his coaching staff some confidence that if they were going to go that way, that's the way they would fall.
Yeah, I mean, I get both sides of it. I just think in the end, I expect to see him in that second game against the winner of, I presume Arkansas can beat Southeast Missouri without him, and they'll play the winner of that 2 versus 3 game. So we'll see. Bruce, been a rough weekend storm-wise in our state. We've had some calls already about people with donations. I know Rogers High School called during the break. You can drop off donations at their gymnasium, and they have it open as a place that if you're without power, you can go shelter there, and they got the mats down on the floor, and we'll get you as comfortable as you can. I know you've been here a long time, and you've seen some rough weather, but, man, just looking around Beaver Lake and looking around some of the pictures that have come in Benton County, it was a rough couple of storms that moved through on our waterways.
Yeah, it's just when it hits home, and it's hard to see. We remember 95 and 96 in downtown Fort Smith and Van Buren, some of the bad storms we had, and it's not the time to be talking about fishing lures and going outside. If you can help, you got some money to help. There's several organizations and schools up in the Rogers, Bentonville area, Harrison area where you can help people. So we just advise people to do that and do what you can. If you got water, blankets, things you can donate them. And if you got money and time, there's lots of places you can go and help others.
Yeah, and one of the things that I had a text from a buddy during the break that, we hear about and we read about and we remember those that were killed during the storm. There was 8 lost lives in Arkansas, but I've already heard of a story or two where people helping with the cleanup and using chainsaws and limbs falling on them and just accidents that are happening in the cleanup now that, one guy up in north central Arkansas in the Harrison area lost his life in the cleanup when he was cutting a tree and a limb fell and hit him on the head. I mean, just things like that are things that people need to be careful, because I'll be honest, I'm not the guy that needs a chainsaw in his hand at this point. I need to be doing something else.
Those aren't things you even think about.
But that's exactly what's going on. So everybody needs to be really careful, because, with the way these trees are laying and falling against each other, and some of this requires some real professional help to get some of this cleaned up.
It does, and a lot of your advertisers are professionals that deal with limb services and electrical services, and you got gas mains broken, you've got power lines still down, a lot of people without power, and big trees laying all over things. It's just don't overstep your pay grade and get hurt trying to help somebody. But if you can help other ways, just try to do that.
Yeah. Well, I know Memorial Day weekend wasn't the way it went for some, but it's good that the sun came back up, and the cleanup will will get taken care of in due time. But hopefully everybody will be back on the water and enjoying what makes this state great very soon. But our thoughts are with everyone involved in that cleanup, because it is a mess right now in a lot of places in Northwest and North Central Arkansas. So, Bruce, we appreciate you. We'll see you in here next week. And I guess by this time next week, we'll have a really good idea of the matchups and hopefully involving a lot of SEC schools in the super regionals.
Yeah, let's hope for some great super regional matchups, and let's hope Arkansas can do well and pick everybody's spirits up.
There you go. All right, Bruce Stanton, Pradco Fishing, lurenet.com. Find all those Arkansas-made products at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, and again, lurenet.com. I know, just looking at some of these pictures, boats crushed and campers and trailers crushed. I saw the Corps of Engineers that closed one of the parks at Beaver Lake that they operate. And we're going to have Clay hop in here in a little bit next hour with us. And I know his son-in-law is a fishing guide. His boat has a tree laying across it. So, I mean, just things like that you don't think of in all of this, but it is just it's a heck of a mess out there.
Yep. So anyone can go through. You mentioned the Rogers High School, kind of letting us know that's just That's one school in Northwest Arkansas. I'm sure there's countless others across North Central Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas. You've got a big stick that you can utilize free of charge, not just this morning, but these next few days, that we'd be happy to help you out, kind of get the word out as quick and as much as possible about donations and various other things. So that was, unfortunately, again, what happened this weekend. Some positives. I like kind of how you framed it, or Bruce framed it there. Hopefully Arkansas baseball gives some positives for people's lives this weekend. We don't know who Arkansas is facing. Here was the reaction when Arkansas baseball found out.
Here's the Fayetteville regional. Arkansas Razorbacks. Bob Walker Stadium is going to be rocking. Dave Van Horn closing in on 900 wins at Arkansas. Peyton Holt, Little Diggs, Hagan Smith. It's set for Arkansas. Who are we facing? Who are we going to open up against? How about the champs out of the Ohio Valley Conference? Southeast Missouri Redhawks and head coach Andy Sawyers. Their 6th tournament appearance and their 3rd in the last 4 seasons. Started the year 7-12, just kept on keeping on. Josh Cameron with 13 home runs. Kyle Miller, 3-time all-conference pitcher for the Redhawks. The Kansas State Wildcats are in, and head coach Pete Hughes. Top 10 in the nation in stolen bases with a .27. Jackson Wentworth on the mound. 5th tournament appearance in their first in 11 seasons. Welcome back to the field of 64 Cats. He will face the battle of cats and dogs, the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. Out of Conference USA, head coach Lane Burrows, their 11th NCAA appearance. Paul McConnell, hit king out of Conference USA. Louisiana Tech, Kansas State on Friday, along with Arkansas and Southeast Missouri State.
2 o'clock, 7 o'clock, you're set up for this weekend. Arkansas typically plays in that first game. You don't know the starting pitching, as we've talked about, but that is your setup for this weekend. Thought it was a favorable draw. Think it's cool that you've got connections. We brought up Ethan Bates earlier, former Lakeside Ram, former Arkansas Razorback, that is just going on a tear right now for the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. And you've got a couple coaching connections at Southeast Missouri State with Trevor Ezel and Andy Sawyers, who played for Dave Van Horn in both Nebraska and in Fayetteville.
Southeastern Conference has the 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7 seeds in the top 16 national seeds. 5 of the top 8, and then of course littered that. And then can't throw Oklahoma in officially, but they're 9th. So we talk about them in softball and how they're going to bring a high level. Arkansas has played OU before in post. I believe it was 2009. You went there for the regional before you went to Tallahassee. In fact, I'm certain of that. So, I mean, Oklahoma's had a good tradition of baseball. So you've got them, also kind of in that list, even though they're not officially an SEC school. But, there's a good chance you could have, a good number of teams. I've got to work this bracket out and see how many possible SEC schools could face one another. But when you look at just who's hosting in this thing, you've got 5 different places that are going to be on SEC campuses.
I'm glad you brought up the possibility with Texas and Oklahoma who officially enter the league on July the 1st. That was a point of discussion in Destin at the spring meetings. We'll talk more about some of what Greg Sankey had to say tomorrow. But Dave was asked about, hey, you're getting 2 decent baseball programs. I say decent. Oklahoma's decent. Texas has had a perennial team over the years. Here's what Dave had to say in regards to, hey, add a few more teams to the tournament.
Probably going to see at least 12 teams from the SEC getting into the NCAA tournament, maybe 13. You add 2 regional type teams to our league, 2 teams that have in their history have won a national championship. It just brings more teams that are probably going to belong in the field.
Remember 2 years ago when Ole Miss beat you to play in the College World Series final, the team they beat in the national championship was Oklahoma. So I know you don't necessarily think of Oklahoma as this tradition-rich baseball program, but they're 2 years removed from a national championship runner-up appearance. So that is a team you'll also have to deal with. Not as much as softball, as you just brought up. They're far better in softball, but it's another team. It's just unique, right, that you can have 13 of 16 SEC teams make postseason. That's fantastic. I know Greg Sankey loves that. I know the coaches love that from a recruiting standpoint, that, hey, you're going up against the best competition week in, week out during conference play. And it just goes to show you, as good as SEC football is with the national champions they've had, as good as SEC women's basketball, track and field, even basketball has become, with 8 NCAA tournament teams, the cream of the crop in this conference is SEC baseball. 3 straight national champions, 6 straight national champion appearances, where you've had a team in the College World Series championship game, and then I think 8 straight College World Series appearances in the final too. So a lot can be said about this conference in SEC baseball.
Looking at where LSU's placed, they're in the North Carolina region. Playing the Tar Heels, they got Wofford and was that LIU in there as well? So kind of small print, but you just think about some of these 2 seeds, 3 seeds that are cross conference. Mississippi State, as we've talked about, going to Virginia, Alabama going to Florida State, Florida going to Oklahoma State, Vandy at Clemson. How many of those teams are going to wreck the party? That's what I'm interested in. We expect the teams hosting to win. How many of those can wreck the party is something that I want to watch. Hey, I know Gaston's is right in the heart of where a lot of the damage occurred this weekend, and I know fishing and getaways might not be on your mind, but I promise you, when the damage is cleaned up and the from the storms that came through, Gaston's is probably a place you want to go and just kind of get away and relax and get away from it all. You might call over at Gaston's right now if you need a place to maybe stay a few days during all of this. They've got 80 cabins and lodges, and I know that summertime is busy for them, but I can promise you Clint and his staff are right there to help those in need right there in Baxter County. They're right essentially on the county line with Baxter and Marion County. They're just below the Bull Shoals Dam. 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
On Friday is the first game, and if you win, you'll play at 8 the next day. If you lose, you'll play at 2 o'clock on Saturday. That's your initial setup for the first couple of days. This is going to be a tough ticket to come by. We know that, but again, Hogman tickets, if you want to try and squeeze in there, 9 a.m. this morning. DJ Wagner commits to Arkansas over the weekend, the 8th scholarship player for this roster. I don't think he's signed yet, but has committed. I know people are excited about that. His dad played for Cal, and then his uncle played with Kenny Payne at Louisville on that national championship winning team. So you've got connections once again, and we'll see the other player that he adds, and then the marquee player, I should say, and then we'll see what other players he kind of fills the roster just yet. I think that took longer than a lot of people expected, but at the end of the day, it sounds like you got this guy.
Yeah, and I'll be interested to see, what do spots, I guess he's 9, right?
It's 8.
He's 8, so spots 9 through 13, how do those fill out? Do they fill out? I'll be interested to see how all of this goes. And you see a lot of the focus that Calipari has put lately with his time, or at least where he's been reported, is a lot of 25s. So he's working on next year and the high school players that are out there. And it's, how to even start working on a portal when, that's, got to work its process. So very interesting. And then, these talks in Destin and roster limits, and that conversation kind of focuses around football. But I'll be interested to see if maybe you get to a point where in the SEC, you have one or two less scholarship spots on your roster just with revenue sharing coming, NIL requirements. Is there an appetite to maybe, pull some chairs out of the rotation here and make it a little easier to operate with what you have?
On the subject of John Calipari and his basketball team, I saw that he and the University of Arkansas announced his camps. They're doing something unique this year. They're doing a father-son camp, which I think would be a lot of fun. Maybe you and Dylan can go to that depending on your schedule. But this is coming up in the month of June. You've got several different camps that are coming up. And I know there's a lot of kids across the state that would love to be a part of that. They're June 12th through 13th, the 14th through 15th, and the 17th through 19th. Are some of the
around Father's Day weekend,
on the John Calipari camps, which is probably why they're doing that father-son camp specifically.
And you got football camps all throughout June as well, different levels. Some are invite only, some are just show up and pay your money kind of camp.
Last thing here, we got more of this coming up in your Lindsay & Associates Pro Hog update, but do want to mention Daniel Gafford, a big part of the Mavericks win over the weekend against the Minnesota Timberwolves, I should say, on Sunday night. Here was one of his big plays against Mike Conley late. So he had that block. He also finished out an and one down the stretch, an assist from Luka Doncic, and now he is one game away. No team has ever. Now we know what's happened in baseball with the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees, but no NBA team has ever come back to 3-0. And that's what the Minnesota Timberwolves will try and do, but it sounds like the Dallas Mavericks and the Timberwolves should be able to close it out later on tonight at 7:30, if not tonight. Be able to do that quick.
How many times has the East and Western Conference Finals been both sweeps?
Probably not often over the course of NBA history. It's a good question to ask.
Obviously the Celtics closed theirs out 4-0. If the Mavericks do the same, I wonder how many times, if ever. I don't know the answer. I'm just wondering aloud. Both series went 4-0, leading to the finals.
I bet it's happened at least once, but that is a good question. I didn't even think about that. That is a good question.
It hasn't happened yet, but if it does, could be semi.
I know Charles Barkley doesn't want to have to go back to Minnesota. He was joking with Daniels, like, I better close it out tonight, and I don't want to have to go pick up another suit. He was having some fun on the post-game broadcast. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning, brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8
One thing we haven't mentioned, Bill Walton dead, 71 years old, the iconic UCLA Bruin Hall of Fame basketball player, won a title with both the Trailblazers and the Celtics, been a broadcaster for many years, passed away at the age of 71 due to battle with cancer. Maybe we'll get into some more Bill Walton coming up in hour 3. A kind of bummer to see that news over the weekend, too.
Hey, I know it feels like Monday, but it's Taco Tuesday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. $1 tacos all day long today. Chicken and beef tacos. You can enjoy that. Nacho Average Wednesday tomorrow with $1 off. All the nachos tomorrow. And then Throwback Thursday. We'll give you some more updates on Joe's Grill and Cantina. The place to watch Hog Baseball coming up this weekend. And speaking of baseball, all of our coverage of the Fayetteville Regional presented by Mock Legal Solutions, by Arvest Bank, and by Camping World. The road to Omaha starts now. Hear all the games live on ESPN Arkansas and the Hit That Line Now app.
All right, Lindsay & Associates Pro Hog Update next.
Hey, Diamond Hog fans. The road to Omaha is smooth sailing, but the road to co-parenting, not so much. If you are in a divorce or custody dispute and need real advice at a reasonable price, call me, Jackie Mock, at Mock Legal Solutions, 479-769-1505. With me at Cleanup, we're sure to cross home plate. Go Hogs!
Arkansas is headed back to Omaha.
At Arvest Bank, we believe in the power of community. That's why we recognize, serve, and support communities of all kinds. From small towns to big cities, business startups to large companies, young families to seniors, and those with shared backgrounds and interests. We value your contributions and are proud to work alongside you because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank. We believe.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Ty, that's the million-dollar question.
This is the Morning Rush.
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get 1.9% financing for 60 months on remaining 2023 Buick Envisions. Or choose up to $3,500 in factory discounts. The Buick Envision, it's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Hey, do y'all know what time it is?
It's about 2:30.
Summertime?
It's that and a whole lot more.
And no matter what's happening, the Stadium Shop has what you need.
We have the best selection for showing off your Razorback spirit while on vacation, even Razorback swim trunks.
Graduations, anniversaries, birthdays, we have what you need for your event.
And we have what you need for that trip to Omaha.
Even a new line of hard shell luggage.
Also, Omaha tees, flags, bases, loaded hats, and the boppers.
And you can get them here at the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium. Or you can check us online at those WWNs.
Dad, let me do that before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, shoponrazorback.com.
And if you can't reach us there, call us at 479 Stadium.
All from the only family, alumni-owned and operated Razorback store.
South of the North Pole.
Dad, please.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hawks.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
I'm Jim Cash III, owner of the Diamond Center. I invite you to come visit us for all your jewelry needs, including celebrations, purchases, repurposing, or jewelry repairs. The Diamond Center offers the largest selection of engagement rings in the area, along with complete custom design for all those special occasions. My family's legacy in jewelry goes back 4 generations. We strive for excellent customer service, integrity in our pricing, and jewelry of the very best quality and craftsmanship. This is all backed by our exclusive free lifetime warranty. Come see us at the Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. There is a chance of an isolated shower at thunderstorm across the south. High temperatures today, low 80s north, upper 80s south. Still hanging on to a few showers of storms across the south tonight. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy overnight lows in the low to mid 60s, and then a few more showers for this Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 93 days.
Arkansas Razorbacks. Baum-Walker Stadium is going to be rocking. Dave Van Horn closing in on 900 wins. Who are we going to open up against? How about the champs out of the Ohio Valley Conference? Southeast Missouri Redhawks and head coach Andy Sawyers. The Kansas State Wildcats are in, and head coach Pete Hughes. The Louisiana Tech Bulldogs out of Conference USA. Head coach Lane Burroughs. Their 11th NCAA appearance. Louisiana Tech, Kansas State on Friday, along with Arkansas and Southeast Missouri State.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studio. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bensenville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
So that's the big story of the upcoming weekend. What's going to happen in Baum-Walker Stadium with Arkansas, with Louisiana Tech, with Kansas State, and Southeast Missouri State. The story of this past weekend, unfortunately, was not the Memorial Day holiday, not celebrating the soldiers and all the people, military men and women that have laid down their lives for our country to keep it the way it is today, but the tragedies that struck North Central and Northwest Arkansas with the different storms. We're going to have Clay on, who joins us at the end of the program, to kind of talk about his firsthand experience. I know his home, luckily, didn't get hit by a tree. It was close as it gets based on some of the pictures he sent. I know countless others have had property damage, business damage, and really it was not just a small part of our state. Nearly 70,000 people lost power. 8 people reportedly have lost their lives due to the storms, and just hoping that we can figure this out as quick as possible, because I know this is not an easy fix with so many areas affected across our state.
Yeah, and be careful with the cleanup. We're already getting some reports today that, people trying to do their best to help their friends, help their neighbors clean their own property. There's already been a loss of life or two around just with tree limbs falling, and one with a report of an extensive head injury that led to the loss of life. So, I mean, it's not just the storms and the damage from the immediate aftermath of that storm, but it's the cleanup that's also very dangerous. So, I mean, I can tell you this: I don't need a chainsaw in my hand. That's not my wheelhouse. So,
if you don't need one,
you definitely don't need one.
Pole
saw, I can probably handle a pole saw. I mean, I could get by, but listen, there's people that are professionals that can do this, or you got a family member that's just more versed in that. So, put a rake in my hand, I guess. I can't hurt myself with that, but be very careful with the cleanup that's going on out there as well right now. Sebastian County Assessor wants to remind you that right now we are coming up on the deadline. This is true in every county in our state. If you've applied, if you have not applied yet for the homestead tax credit, you can save $425 on your personal property taxes on your home by just applying. Simply call your county assessor for more details. In Sebastian County, Zach Johnson's number is 479-784-1516. Applications must be completed by the end of May, coming up at the end of this week for your 2023 property taxes. So that applies to your home and up to 1 acre of land. If you own your home and it's your primary residence, you qualify. 479-784-1516. If you have not applied for that homestead credit, call now and get that done, or visit SebastianCountyAR.gov.
This is the Lindsay & Associates Pro Hog Update.
Sledgehammer in there by Gafford.
Whether you're listing, selling, or leasing, Lindsay & Associates can handle all your real estate needs. Go to lindsay.com to search all the current real estate inventory. At Lindsay & Associates, we bring great neighbors together.
Good updated job with a little Daniel Gafford and Andrew Benintendi featured. Big C. That sounds great. Daniel, get a good big part of your Dallas Mavericks and what they've overcome in the postseason, especially with Derek Lively got hit in the back of the head. I don't know when his timetable is.
Yeah, I think he's questionable tonight, and hopefully he'll be back for the next series if they make it to the finals, which they should get a lengthy break in between there. But yeah, the Mavericks, Daniel Gafford has done well. Jordan Walsh and the Boston Celtics punched their ticket to the NBA Finals last night with a 105-102 win over the Indiana Pacers. They completed the sweep. Dallas will try and do that tonight. And
did Walsh get in any of the 4 games? I don't remember.
Not in the Eastern Conference Finals. He played his first playoff minutes in a loss earlier this season to their first round opponent, not to the Cavs, because that was I can't remember who the first round opponent was, but yes, he is.
I didn't recall seeing him in the semis or the conference.
Yeah, played in the first round and lost. I think that's the only time he's played so far.
Been a lot of close games, even though they swept. I think 3 of those were like 1 or 2 possession games, kind of like the Mavericks Timberwolves. But Daniel Gafford has been a lightning rod for the Mavericks. He had 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 blocks in the win on Friday. On Sunday night, he had that dagger dunk that sealed the win. Pretty awesome there.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Let's just go back and relive it a little bit.
The Gafford screen against Gobert, tailed by McDaniels. Down hard, and a foul.
Dagger. Kevin Harlan on the call there. You asked a good question in the end of the second hour, Tommy. Brent replying to it on the McLarty Daniel Hotline saying it's never happened. The question about the possibility about the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference winners sweeping the finals. It almost
final. Both going 4-0.
It almost happened apparently last year, but didn't happen. I'm trusting Brent on this. I've not gone back over the however many years of NBA history to look and see if that's correct. But that would be pretty significant if the Dallas Mavericks pulled it out tonight. And you just mentioned the impact. Think about where the Mavericks were pre-trade. Christian, you could speak to this more than Tommy and I could, where they were pre-trade for Daniel Gafford and P.J. Washington, and where they are post-trade for those two. P.J., of course, played for Cal at Kentucky, and Daniel played here and for the El Dorado Wildcats, and that change is why they're 1 game away from the finals.
You've got to play defense to make it to the finals. You can't just be a one-sided offensive show, and the Mavericks are one of the best teams in defense since Gafford and PJ has joined them. So it's shaping up to be a good finals, but they've got to get that one tonight because the longer a series goes, you're like, you want to put it away. You want it to put it away tonight. Now in the MLB, some Razorbacks that are making some noise. Jalen Beeks, he has a 2-2 win-loss record for the Rockies this season, a 3.20 ERA in the 23 games he's appeared in. He's pitched a total of 25 1/3 innings and has 20 strikeouts. Benintendi for the White Sox, 3 home runs, 35 hits, and 181 at-bats this season. Good for a 193 batting average. He's driven in 17 runs. Isaiah Campbell for the Red Sox has a 12.79 ERA in 6 1/3 innings pitched this season. He struck out 5 batters. Dominic Fletcher for the White Sox has 12 hits, 6 RBIs in 67 at-bats. He's batting 179. James McCann for the Baltimore Orioles, 16 hits and a home run in 79 at-bats this season. He has 9 RBIs, and he's hitting .203. Drew Smiley for the Cubs has a 4.30 ERA and 12 strikeouts in 14 2/3 innings pitched. Ryan Stanek for the Mariners has a 4.50 ERA, 19 strikeouts, and 2 saves in 18 innings pitched. And that is all for the Pro Hogs in the MLB.
I want to go back to Daniel for just 1 sec. Anytime that you get a compliment from Shaquille O'Neal, one of the greatest big men of all time, it holds weight. I don't have the clip with me, but I listened to the full interview that he was on inside the NBA with those guys. And one of the things Shaquille mentioned is that he loves the way Daniel has the energy. Sometimes big men, when they don't get the ball and they're not getting touches, they kind of turn lackluster. They just don't give full effort. And he was just very like, you don't always get the ball, and you're not a primary piece of this team, and yet you're always playing with energy. So again, one of the best big men of all time, giving compliments to a former Razorback and El Dorado Wildcat. One game away from the NBA Finals.
All right, we'll pin our hopes right there with him and the Dallas Mavericks. All right, that's your Pro Hog Update. It's brought to you by Lindsay & Associates. They're celebrating 50 years in the real estate business right here in Northwest Arkansas. Whether you need someone to help you list your home, sell your home, or lease a space, Lindsay & Associates can handle all of your real estate needs. They have over 200 professionally trained agents, and they're in Fayetteville, they're in Rogers, they're in Bentonville, so they're close by as well. Lindsay & Associates, they're the winning choice. Go to lindsay.com to search all current real estate inventory. At Lindsay & Associates, we bring great neighbors together.
Now, let's talk to Tom Murphy on the Morning Rush.
Tom, it's been a lot of fun watching Daniel Gafford in the playoffs lately. That's what we were just talking about. And I know it hasn't been as much fun watching Arkansas baseball, who's lost 7 of 10. Some people have said they're limping into this regional. I wouldn't characterize it as that, but it was interesting to hear Dave kind of talk yesterday about maybe them being a little ticked off about how they concluded their season. What did you take away from what Dave Van Horn had to say, not just about the conclusion of their season, but kind of how this regional sets up for them?
Right. Well, good morning to everybody. He likes that it's a true regional, that, you know, nobody's more than about 6 hours drive away, with SEMO being the longest. But they really have some hard thinking to do, looking at the splits for hitters for Southeast Missouri and also for both, you know, La Tech and Kansas State, as to how to best deploy Hagen Smith. Because it's all about what pieces of the puzzle do we put together to win and get out of this regional. And so when do we pitch Hagen Smith? And then how do we maximize the innings of anyone else that they choose to pitch? And so based on recent results, it's just hard to put a finger on who might start. I mean, Mason Molina's looked great out of the bullpen. Brady Tigert didn't look so good. You know, he didn't field the ball and gave up a home run ball. And so you combine that with all the different batting orders they've used, and I found it interesting that he said, I've got one order that I want to go with against lefties and one against righties, so maybe they're trying to settle guys into roles that they know they'll have. But, yeah, I don't know if limping is the way, but when you lose 7 out of 10, searching for answers, trying to get certain guys hot, is a way I would describe it.
Well, and searching for a dominant number 2 starter. Arkansas's had that in the past behind a pitcher of the year type player like you have this year, but you've always had that number 2 that you could rely on, or not always, you have had in the past. Arkansas doesn't have a number 2 right now that you feel like, hey, you can turn the ball over to them against the number 4 seed and feel very comfortable and confident there. That's what makes this decision such a conversation.
It really does. And I mean, a few years ago, Caleb Bolden got the start against New Jersey Tech, and you remember that one turned into Tech scored a bunch of runs, and Arkansas had to run some other pitchers out there, and it threw that regional into a different, kind of spin. I mean, they got away with it, but anyway, yes, they're facing the same kind of situation here, and the big question being, can Mason Molina find the right mindset, the right approach to give you 5 innings as a starter? Because I think if you got 5 innings giving up 1 or 2 runs from Mason Molina, that you would take that. But how do you deploy that? Is that a 3-inning stint here, a 2-inning stint there? I don't know. And they've got to find out how healthy everyone is and how they feel. But beyond those, Molina, Smith, and Tiger. Do you trust Gage Wood in a start? Do you trust Will McIntyre in a start? So they got some really interesting puzzlers facing them.
we're talking about Hagen Smith. We haven't mentioned it this morning, but Dave kind of got a little testy at the end of the press conference. He was angry that the broadcasters for last week's game against Kentucky thought that Hagen's velo was off. Apparently, it was just the why am I blanking on whatever the
TrackMan?
Yeah, the TrackMan that on the board was off, and Tom he basically said that
the radar gun,
yeah, the radar gun was on the scoreboard was off by 4 or 5 miles an hour. So there doesn't seem to be any concern with Hagen heading into this weekend. I know some people were wondering why his velo was down. Apparently, it was just a technical malfunction last weekend.
That appears to be the case, and it's interesting that sitting in the press box that day and listening to the broadcast and watching things live, you're like, and so they're saying it out loud on the broadcast. Tom Hart and Kyle Peterson, whoever else was on there, that it was down a few miles, but they were relying on the in-park gun, and that's a bit of a fault of the reporters on scene that we didn't ask him about. We were asked about Hagen Smith's performance, but not the velo part, and so we didn't realize that the gun was that far off. And yeah, he got a little bit worked up over that. I guess the insinuation that the Arkansas ace is out there and it has lost some velocity.
Yeah,
we all fall too much in love with velocity anyway, I think.
Yeah, but it was. But again, it was incorrect what was actually because the scouts had the radar guns. Basically, what Dave laid it out, scouts had the radar guns. It was the normal stuff. Just didn't appear that way on television when you watched it. Tom, what did you think about? So I know you guys left early because Arkansas went 0-2 in barbecue and came back home, but you had a really good finish in the SEC tournament in Hoover. Nearly 200,000 people attended. It was 180 something to be exact. LSU ends up falling to Tennessee. They win 2 out of 3, and the SEC gets 11 teams. What did you think about the conference's performance, not just this past week, but how many teams they were able to get, which is a conference record?
Yeah, well, a bit unprecedented. 5 seeded teams, top 8, 4 out of the top 5, with Arkansas being 5. The fans were there. LSU made a nice run. They got off the carpet. I saw on the show that no SEC team ever had started conference at, I think it was 3-12 maybe, or 3-9. I can't remember, but no conference team had ever had that kind of start and gone on to make the NCAA tournament. So a lot of their fans were there. They travel, including the guy who starts all the cheers. And then Tennessee brought a good number of fans. Volunteer baseball under Tony Vitello is a real deal. It's a powerful entity, and so the SEC. Tennessee made a nice run from the losers bracket, which you don't see very often, and used a lot of different pitchers in short stints, and so hopefully they have their pitching on track for when they reach the regional this week. But 11 teams in the field, amazing. All of the 13 and 17 teams made it because they had great strength of schedules and great RPIs, including Florida, which is one game above 500.
So how did you feel about the draw that Arkansas had? You mentioned the 4 teams, and everyone's within 6 or 7 hours of Fayetteville. You're opposite the Virginia Regional, which also features Mississippi State. Arkansas is the number 5 overall national seed. What was your feel about the committee's work, not just with Arkansas, but the SEC and the 64-team field as a whole?
Right. Well, it looks like the Razorbacks slotted right about in where all the prognosticators thought at number 5, and that's probably about right. Their body of work was tremendous. They were ranked number 1 so much of the season before the late drop-off. And I don't know if you just can read anything into it or not. They've overcome 0-2 in 2022 and made the College World Series. I thought it was a solid regional. One of the outlets projected this exact field, I believe. And so my alma mater, Louisiana Tech, will be here with Ethan Bates, former Razorback, so that'll be cool. And while I'm thinking about this, how about North Carolina? They get LSU in their regional. Mm-hmm. So somebody was going to be unfortunate to catch super hot LSU. And I like them being paired up against Virginia. Doesn't mean anything to Dave Van Horn probably, but 2014, they went over there in Charlottesville, and Virginia beat them twice. And so, you know, you can get back at them all, 10 years later if you happen to match up. But if Arkansas gets out of this, I would not be shocked at all if Mississippi State Bulldogs are not back here for the, for the second time in 4 weeks.
And if you can make it out of the regional and the super regional, and there's a lot of baseball between now and then, and LSU did the same, it would be Arkansas and LSU squaring off first in Omaha.
Yeah, I mean, A&M would be the 4, and so they would match up, I suppose, with North Carolina. And A&M finished the season a little bit like Arkansas. There was a point where the SEC West was in doubt with 3 weeks to go. I thought A&M was going to go on the road, and they had LSU and Ole Miss back-to-back and wound up going 2-4 in those. And that really allowed Arkansas to hold on and win the division. So the Aggies are not playing well. They went 2 in barbecue in Hoover as well. So, so the 4 and 5 teams from the SEC, or national seeds, both from the SEC, trying to find their answers as they enter the real heart of the postseason.
And you look ahead, Oklahoma and Texas both in the field. Oklahoma, who will join the league with Texas in about 35 or 40 days, or less than 40 days. Oklahoma's the 9 seed, and you got Texas stuck in that College Station regional. So there's some interesting stuff, and 2 teams and 2 programs worth watching.
No doubt about that. And that was another comment from Dave Van Horn yesterday, is that with those 2 teams joining, he feels like the SEC suddenly becomes a 13-team league, which obviously would be more precedent-setting. But it's that power league. And they mentioned that at the very top of the broadcast, how the way college athletics is moving, that mega conferences are basically in, and the SEC is going to be at the very top of the perch. Really, when you think about across the board, almost every sport, I mean, outside water polo and volleyball and stuff, the SEC is going to have major impact in every sport.
Yeah. Tom, thank you. We'll catch up later this week.
Sounds good. See y'all.
All right, Tom Murphy with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Hey, they're back at it at Art's Barbecue, Burgers, and more this morning, getting ready for a great day. Got those ribs and briskets and pulled pork, or those pork butts to make their pulled pork on the smoker this morning. They're also hand-patting burgers. They got 10 different burgers on their menu, from their classic cheeseburger to the hickory burger to their bacon cheeseburger, or even the Wild West burger, which features their hot links and their jalapenos on top of their burger with Art's hot barbecue sauce and cheddar cheese as well. Try the burgers at Art's Barbecue. Burgers and more, Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
HitThatLine.com and the Hit That Line Now app is live at the 2024 Fayetteville Regional. Exclusive coverage is presented by Mock Legal Solutions. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price. Arvest Bank. Arvest is ready to help. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Camping World. Camping World in Poteau and Van Buren, and online at campingworld.com. The road to Omaha starts now.
Call them the Omahawks. Yes, sir.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hey Diamond Hog fans, the road to Omaha is smooth sailing, but the road to co-parenting, not so much. If you are in a divorce or custody dispute and need real advice at a reasonable price, call me, Jackie Mock, at Mock Legal Solutions, 479-769-1505. With me at Cleanup, we're sure to cross home plate. Go Hogs!
Arkansas is headed back to Omaha.
This is the Morning Rush.
And he's in. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. Yet the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey and Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey and Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey and Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
The Old Fort Days is underway, and you can go in style with the all-new official Old Fort Days merchandise. Available now at the main gate at Harper Stadium or at Jelco Outdoors. Caps, t-shirts, hat stickers, drinkware, and more for the family. Support your local Old Fort Days rodeo. Go in style with new apparel. Old Fort Days official merchandise. Wear the brand. Get your official Old Fort Days merchandise outside Harper Stadium or at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
The Newmeyer family knows how important Arkansas baseball is to the River Valley. And that's why you can watch the Omahawks at any of their 3 restaurants. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the Rib Room, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill. Have you seen the giant TV? It's insane. Plus, you're going to get that great Southern cooking and the great pizza at Papa's and the great barbecue at Rib Room. Where do you need to watch the Omahawks? That's any of the 3 great restaurants from the Newmeyer.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else. My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's. Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Chuck, it's good to hear you, man.
Yeah, good to talk to you, Joe.
It's always good to hear your voice.
Here's the pitch. A swing and a high fly ball to deep left field. Back is Sorrell looking up. You got to get out of here. Hudson White's hit a go-ahead 3-run homer in the 8th inning. And he got all of it. He got absolutely all of it.
The Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Brought to you by Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. You can listen to it at hitthatline.com or wherever you hear your favorite podcasts.
Do have some positive basketball news. DJ Wagner, according to RD, commits to Arkansas. Going to get a chance to talk with Richard tomorrow. I think he was the first one to have it, which is kind of cool. This was something you were waiting on, hoping was going to happen, and sounds like it has happened. So we'll react to that news coming up and speak to Bill Walton's passing at the age of 71 years old. But for now, we talked to Larry Rath of Rath Auto Resources this morning here at the end of the month. We got baseball coming up this weekend, Larry, but before we do that, we got to get out of May, man.
We got to get out of May, and we've got some cars to sell yet. It's a really great time to come in and save some money during our first ever trade-in acquisition event. Get your sales tax paid when you trade
on all of our pre-owned inventory at both locations. So Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. This could save you hundreds, even thousands of dollars, and it absolutely ends at the end of the month. So folks, don't miss out. Get in here and take advantage of sales tax paid when you trade on all of our used car inventory, including our road-ready certified used cars. And these cars are as close to new as you're going to get. These cars are certified with warranty. We've got them at both locations. What a terrific way to save some money and get a car you know you can trust. Road Ready Certified, only available at Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. The new Mitsubishi lineup, we're so excited about those vehicles. The Outlander in particular, folks, if you haven't seen it, come in and drive this vehicle. Come in and take a test drive and see what you think. Tell us what you think about the styling, the interior trim, the safety features, the 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, the incentives up to $4,000, the rates as low as 0%. Really a terrific opportunity on the 24 Outlander. We've got a good selection of those as well. So a lot of things working up towards the end of this month. Folks, that sales tax program, that ends right at the end of the month. So I hope you get in here, take advantage of that. Save yourself some money. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
All right, that's Rath Auto Resources, Fort Smith, and in Springdale. Larry, have a great last few days of the month, and we'll talk to you later on this week.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one. Folks, come and see us.
So you've got 8 scholarship players right now with the addition of DJ Wagner. We'll see who number 9 is. Sounds like that's what the number 8 or 9 is what Cal is wanting to stick with. And you've got guards between Boogie Flan, him, and Janelle Davis. Sounds like your ball handling is going to be taken care of. I'm excited to see who else they add. Not just, again, that marquee player that you're expecting, but also some of the other guys that have been added. So now it's just one of those things where you have to kind of wait till the NBA draft deadline, because one of the things we've spoken to is Cal's waiting on some of these projected guys, their decisions. Are they going to stay in the NBA draft? Are they going to come back? A lot of the guys that have already signed and committed to play with Arkansas have already made that decision. Now the guys that are in the portal and still in the NBA draft would be one. Now, one of the guys that, close to home, Trevor Brazile, has pulled back out of the NBA draft and is in the portal right now. Don't know if there would be any type of reunion on the table potentially for Brazile and Arkansas, but I did find that news interesting out of the weekend too.
I saw that as well, and kind of tells you what feelers he was getting back for his draft stock and status, but makes you wonder about this Wagner commitment, what took as long as it did for him to come to the conclusion. Maybe we'll hear the rest of the story, if you will. And I just wonder, with the players they've gotten, the caliber, how much more NIL money do they have to go get another marquee name or two? I think we're kind of getting to the end of maybe bright lights in big city when it comes to the next player that you'll bring in.
Yep. And so that's the local basketball news. The national basketball news is the death of Bill Walton at 71 years old. He lost a battle with cancer. Pacers coach Rick Carlisle played with Walton on the Boston Celtics back in the day, and he had a really cool story about Bill back in the playing days.
I have him to thank probably also for me being married to my wife, Donna. Our first date was to a Dead show in Washington, D.C., and I called Bill, and I said, look, this is 1987. I got a date with a girl that I think is pretty cool. Would love to go to the Dead show at Capitol Center. I don't have any tickets. Can you help? And he said, just go to the back door, ask for Dennis McAnally, tell him you're Rick Carlisle from the Boston Celtics, and everything will be just fine.
Evidently it was, and now that's his wife today. So cool. That's one of the many stories. I know Dave Pash, his longtime partner, shared a variety of things this weekend. Jay Billis and countless other ESPN personalities went out of their way to discuss Bill, not just during work times, but off work times, and how much of an impact he had on their lives.
I hate to see him go. He had a unique style and a zest and a flair for life that few had. Hey, our Razorback basketball conversation and DJ Wagner's commitment, all of that conversation brought to you by the Lindbergh Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all of your real estate needs, go to lindberghteam.com.
I'm wondering with Cal in the coming weeks. We mentioned earlier in our Hog Update, he's got his basketball camps kind of around Father's Day weekend. He's already talked about he for whatever reason he can help Northwest, North Central Arkansas on the impacts of this weekend, but kind of what his timeline looks like moving forward.
I bet he rolls up his sleeves and gets involved in that, and he's already kind of made mention of that on social media, it appears. Hey, a real quick word for Hickey and Hull Law Partners. They are all over our state, Mena, Little Rock. They're in Fort Smith. They're in Northwest Arkansas. So if you find yourself embroiled in a controversy or a need or a conflict, probably is the better word, and you need the advice and the guidance of an attorney, that's where Brad Hull and Kevin Hickey can step in and aggressively represent you from your corner, whether you have been in a car accident, you've been injured, or whether you're going through a divorce and you need someone to help you with the custody issues and the settlement issues that surround a divorce, or it's a business law issue, they're there for you. 479-434-2414 is their number, or go to kevinhickeylaw.com. Things are about to get better. That's kevinhickeylaw.com.
Clay Henry joins us next.
Era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
At Our Best Bank, we believe in the power of community. That's why we recognize, serve, and support communities of all kinds. From small towns to big cities, business startups to large companies, young families to seniors, and those with shared backgrounds and interests. We value your contributions and are proud to work alongside you, because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Our Best Bank. We believe.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Razorback!
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westart Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westart Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Dive into summer with the Doughboy Pool Super Sale at Burton Pools and Spas. Say goodbye to crowded public pools. With a Doughboy Pool, the fun comes to you. Don't miss the hottest deals of the year. Doughboy above-ground pools up to $1,500 off. 18-foot steel wall pools only $75 a month. And semi-in-ground pools under $200 a month, plus a free robotic cleaner. Hurry into our Fort Smith, Springdale, or Greenland showroom to pick out your new pool today. At Burton Pools and Spas, we do more than build swimming pools. We build long-term relationships.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade, so now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
The Tennessee Volunteers win both the regular season and postseason SEC title, giving them the number one overall seed this season. The dreaded number one overall seed in some people's eye. No team has won the College World Series since 1999 when Miami did it when given that seed. 11 bids from the conference, a record. 5 of those will be hosting, including your Arkansas Razorbacks in the Fayetteville Regional this weekend. Texas is going to be in College Station. I know A&M fans excited about that. I wouldn't be excited if I was a North Carolina fan. LSU coming to town, the way they're playing right now. I know they fell at the end to Tennessee in the SEC championship, but that is not an opponent that you want to have to face off against. You've got 3 straight SEC West title winners. I think it's 6 or 7 from the SEC and 8 straight appearances in the College World Series finals. I wouldn't expect Omaha to be any different without SEC teams. That's just going to happen. Tommy, I know you were looking up. I don't know if you figured this out. Did you figure out how many matchups you could how many actual College World Series teams could represent in the SEC? There's a lot. Again, 11 teams overall. Arkansas could potentially knock out Mississippi State, or Mississippi State could knock out Arkansas if they get by the Charlottesville Regional in their weekend ahead out east. But there are some SEC teams that would theoretically play each other in the Super Regional matchup coming up here, not this weekend, of course, but next weekend.
Yeah, looking at the bracket where if Tennessee wins and goes on, they won't face another SEC team till the College World Series. Arkansas could face Mississippi State, so if they won theirs. LSU is not opposite of any SEC school. Kentucky is not opposite of any SEC school. South Carolina and Georgia are they could face off in the Super Regional. Vanderbilt and Florida could. I wouldn't have a lot of faith in Florida at this point. And A&M is not opposite of any. So you could have as many as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You could have potentially 8 SEC teams there If I'm counting this right.
I think the record's 4. I think that's been several times.
I know 04 that it happened. Arkansas was there with 4.
Imagine that, the whole field being.
Tennessee could do that.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. But yeah.
As much as we would just be I don't know. I say elated.
Like Alabama. Alabama's not a likely team, in my opinion, to get to the College World Series. But they wouldn't face another SEC team until the College World Series if they took out Oklahoma's side of the bracket, and they would have to beat Florida State at home. So
go to.
It could be mathematically, I think, as many as 8.
Go to Norman, then go to Tallahassee, which, like you said, Arkansas did in 2009. When maybe Alabama could do that again. Alabama's the only SEC West team in the last 6 years not to appear in Omaha in the College World Series. So if that happened this year, 7 years, 7 teams from this, not just conference, but this division that would appear in Omaha, Nebraska for the College World Series. Last thing here in your SEC update before we go to the McLarty Daniel Hotline and welcome in our friend Clay Henry. The spring meetings going on. We'll talk more about what Greg Sankey had to say going tomorrow. You've got Texas and Oklahoma joining the league officially in a little over a month from now. I know the recent NCAA case that is sounds like it's going to get settled. There's 3 lawsuits that sound like they're going to get settled. Big topic. And just this, you got football season. I know that Arkansas gets his 93 days out from August the 29th, so that's just around the corner too.
All right, let's get to Clay in just a second. The SEC update brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Dive into summer with a Doughboy pool. They've got a super sale going on right now, and the fun comes to you. Don't miss the hottest deals so far this year. Doughboy above ground pools up to $1,500 off. That's an 18-foot steel wall pool with great construction, only $75 a month. Semi in-ground pools under $200 a month. Plus, get a free robotic cleaner when you buy right now. 3 locations now for Burton Pools and Spas. Fort Smith, Springdale, and their brand new showroom in Greenland as well to pick out your Doughboy pool today. That's Burton Pools and Spas. They do more than build pools. They build long-term relationships online at burtonpools.com.
Clay, we'd love to have you on, just not necessarily for this reason. I know you sent me and Tommy and our team here at ESPN Arkansas a bunch of pictures in the aftermath of what happened, not just in your neck of the woods, but in several pockets of our state. Just kind of give us an update, what's going on in North Central Arkansas.
Yeah, I live in Norfolk, and I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me because we've got 1 million twigs down, maybe a few limbs. There might be a couple of trees deep in the forest on our property, but basically we are untouched. Our daughter and son-in-law, they lost about 200 trees on their property. They're about 400 yards up the hill from us. So they're much higher elevation, and I think that storm, I don't know that they've called it tornado there. They've called it a tornado in other places, but it's the same storm. And I know we had winds in excess of 100 miles an hour. There was someone that died, tossed out of a trailer in Salesville, an elderly lady. I say elderly, it's the same age as me, but I guess that's elderly now. But there's still a lot of places, no power. We don't have power, so we evacuated yesterday morning to friends' cabin on the Buffalo River, and we're content to stay here for another few days if that's necessary. I think the power's been restored in the town of Norfolk, but not in the outlying areas. And you'd have to say we're pretty much in the sticks, where we are. Tommy's been there, and it was really tough Monday to kind of hack our way out and clear the roads. And we didn't really clear them. We just would, figure out which was the treetop side and clear that lane. So you kind of weave a path, 3 miles to get to Highway 5. But we're lucky, nobody hurt. In our little neck of the woods, 3 miles away, it's a different story. I think there were 17 emergency evacuations, just in that area. Tommy, the news gathering in our state is lacking now. You hear on the news about Northwest Arkansas or Hot Springs, tornadoes, or, there was a little bit of, in the snow area, what happened. Well, we drove here, and everywhere we went, it's a winding road. We passed crews, repairing roofs and, or tarping them. Valley Springs, they tarped the roof of the Arkansas Police headquarters there. I saw school roofs gone in that area, homes, decimated. Same thing all through, from Norfolk to, to Mountain Home. I mean, Highway 5 has been closed for a while.
I think there's over 100 utility poles that have to be replaced on that stretch of Highway 5.
Yeah, I know. It's just, on our exit out of there, we just kept passing, 10 utility trucks. So they'll get it done. We've got a good co-op in north central Arkansas. They've been down this road with ice storms, and they're quick. But it's I guess it's just the nature of our time. The tornadoes and the storms and seem to be escalating. But hey, we were in the basement 6 a.m. whatever it was. What day is it? Man?
It was Saturday
Monday?
morning, right?
It was. No, I think it was Sunday.
Sunday morning. I get my days.
Yeah, but I think today's Tuesday, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. But that was a long day, of checking on people, and they're trapped in their homes. We're trying to get, the trees off their front where they can come out a door. All the way around garage, can't get their cars out. My daughter's F-150 was just crushed by 3 trees. Christopher's guide boat crushed by 3 trees, in their driveway. So she wouldn't come out of the house because she was afraid of falling limbs. I mean, it's just that's the stories. It's not us. It's everybody, and everybody's got that kind of a story.
I know Benton and Benton County in particular, and it is kind of where that track in our state began, and kind of depending on where you're at was the extent of your damages. It's weird in the fact that while you're having such violent property damage, say in north of Bentonville in that area, moving the direction you've been speaking about, in Fayetteville wasn't even raining. I was talking with some friends that they were all safe, but had limbs down and kind of similar story. But just a few miles down the road, not even a drop.
Yeah, the tornado sirens went off. We went to our basement. It was myself, my wife, and my oldest daughter. By the way, Sarah's a principal at Rogers West Side, and that school was heavily damaged. The roof, the air conditioning units, which are brand new, were ripped off, and they're in a field.
Yeah.
So that was in the heart of Rogers, where all that damage is. And then the families that go to that school, they lost their homes. They're trying to put them in shelters. It just everywhere you turn, there's somebody that that was affected because of the massive, path. I mean, it just kept going all the way across, North Arkansas.
Well, Clay, we're glad you and your family are
we're safe, and hey, we're in a good spot too. So
I know tomorrow's your normal day with us. We'll figure it out, but we're just glad to hear from you and everything's okay.
Yeah, I was listening to y'all, and I was good to hear all the combinations and all these SEC teams. Going to be a fun few weeks because we're going to see some of these teams all the way to Omaha. Hopefully the Razorbacks.
Oh, there's no question about that. The amount of teams that get 11, which is a new record.
Pretty cool.
Yep. Well, Clay, we'll talk more about it tomorrow in Arkansas Fayetteville Regional.
All right. Yep. Thank y'all for having me.
That is the Hall of Famer Clay Henry, and again, we just want to put our hearts out to all the people affected, North Central, Northwest. And I know we've named some bigger towns thus far, but there's a lot of small towns that haven't necessarily been mentioned that have been affected, and hopefully they'll get things will get corrected and fixed as as quick as possible. Well, that's going to do it for us here on a Bandwagon Tuesday. We've got a What's Your Beef Wednesday tomorrow. Clay is going to be with us. We're going to talk some recruiting with Richard Davenport and more. Make sure you tune in starting at 6 a.m.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has a